The theme of the today's webinar is both timely and vital, as we strive for excellence in education and institutional accountability. Understanding the ramifications of the NAAC process becomes crucial, not just for administrators, but also for LIS professionals who play the role and indispensable role in academic support and quality enhancement. IATLIS has always stood for academic rigor, collaboration, and capacity building in LIS education, and today's webinar is yet another step in that direction. Let us use this platform to gain clarity, exchange ideas, and prepare ourselves better for contributing meaningfully to the NAAC accreditation process. With these words, I once again welcome you all and wish the deliberation of this webinar a great success. I welcome you all. Thank you. Over to Professor Ramesha, the President of IATLIS.
Thank you, Professor Keshav, the General Secretary of IATLIS, for welcoming all of us. Once again, we IATLIS members and on behalf of the participant, I extend a warm welcome to you all for this webinar also.
Thank you.
As the theme of the webinar is well accepted, many librarians, especially working librarians, they keep on asking the IATLIS and also all the members of the IATLIS, sir, you are conducting different themes and different webinars and different topics. We working librarians, we are facing some kind of what is our role in the NAAC accreditation and reaccreditation, what is the institutional role, and how we library professional can be part of institution in accreditation and reaccreditation process. And therefore, we thought of an idea to have this webinar at the national level. And therefore, you can see that the participant, not only library professional, there are IQAC directors, PMEB director also, they joined. Some few faculty members also, they joined. Some academic consultant also, they have enrolled for this webinar. Let me set the context that Professor Lakshman Rao sir also maybe joined. Professor Ravi from Annamala University, there are senior professor also, they joined. I welcome you all of them. And accreditation is is because of it demonstrates an institution's commitment to quality and provide assurance to the students, parents, and employers that an institution meets established their respective land of the standards. And this accreditation will certainly enhance the reputation and credibility of the institutions and as well as the organizations or universities or colleges. This accreditation also attracts students and faculty members to work. So I'm working in A grade institutions, A grade colleges, A++ universities like that. And the accreditation also facilitates funding and partnership. This is an best example is that recently the Bangalore University and other few universities, we got more than 100 crores from the PM Usha grant. Is because of one of the reason is Bangalore University got A++ with a CGPA of 3.75, and also UGC has categorized it under A category university in the UGC. Likewise, it will going to facilitate for funding and partnership both national as well as international level, and also accreditation promotes the self improvement. Earlier we have got B++, now we can enhance to the A+ or A something like that. And also, if you have a good accreditation, it having the global recognition of the institutions or colleges, and also it enhances the quality of education and enhance the job prospects. And even some of the employers, they're looking at if I'm coming from some good college, they also look at that what is the NAAC accreditation or NBA status of that particular college while recruiting the employees for their institutions or their companies and the industries, etc. To enhance the facilitate credit transfer. This is under the NEP. If any recognized university, recognized college, if they have completed certain credit, that credit can be transferred from one college to the another college or one institution to another institution. And also it provides a peace of mind among the students and the faculty members. So also I'm working in a good reputed institution. Likewise, let me set this context for the discussion deliberation during this webinar. With this kind of a background, the IATLIS has identified three eminent experts, those who are involved in accreditation and re-accreditation, and also the NAAC visit to the different colleges and universities. The first and foremost, Professor P.G. Tarsad, which he was worked in all the capacities of the university. He worked as a in-charge vice chancellor, registrar evaluation, finance officer, PMEB director, IQSC director, chairman of the department, board of studies chairman, BOE chairman, so on and so on. Like that, he is having a vast experience. He will going to share us how institution get ready for accreditation. On the other hand, we have another eminent speaker, Dr. Suresh Jenge. He was widely traveled across the global institution, both at the developed countries, developing countries, underdeveloping countries. He knows the status of the different colleges and institutions, and also moreover that he is a practicing librarian and presently heading IQSC as well as many responsibilities in the university position, and he is involved more than 3 cycles of the NAAC accreditation and re-accreditation of his own university. Is definitely his experience will going to help us to how best we can figure out what is the role of libraries and library professional in accreditation and re-accreditation process. And we have another distinguished personality who will going to moderate this entire webinar, none other than Professor Anifa from University of Calicut. He is also having the rich experience, not only teaching and also research and also administrative experience in different capacities, and presently is serving as a syndicate member of the IATLIS, syndicate member of the Calicut University. Before I invite to the speakers, I take this opportunity to introduce the moderator of this particular session, and the moderator will going to introduce the distinguished speakers and he will going to conduct the proceedings. Dr. Muhammad Anifa K is presently working as a professor in the Department of Library and Information Science and also member of syndicate at the University of Calicut, Kerala. He holds a key administrative position, which I mentioned earlier. He is a director of planning and development and also director of the self-financing courses of Calicut University. Before joining the University of Calicut, he served at NIT Calicut, IISRC Calicut, and TKM College of Engineering, Kottayam. He brings out more than 25 years of academic experience, both in the teaching, administration, and the research at the university level. Dr. Anifa holds an MBA from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, and both MLISC and PhD from Calicut University, Kerala. He is not only a good administrator and also prolific contributors in the academic journals and peer-reviewed presentation, both at the national and international conferences. He frequently serves as a resource person in many academic training programs, including refresher courses at the different universities and institutions across the country. Has successfully organized more than 25 academic events in the form of conferences, seminar, workshop, both at the national as well as international level. Dr. Anifa currently served as a chairman of the Board of Studies in the Department of Library Science, University of Calicut, and as a member of Board of Studies in LAS, not only in his own university, but also in Kannur University, Bharatidasan University, Coimbatore, Christ University, Thrissur. He holds a life membership many institutions and organizations, including associations like ILA, IATLIS, KLA, and KELPRO. His research focus on leveraging the innovation, information, and communication technologies to improve the information access and retrieval and knowledge management. With these keywords, I extend a warm welcome to Professor Muhammad Anifa on behalf of the IATLIS, on behalf of all the members of the IATLIS, on behalf of all the participants, and my own personal behalf. I welcome you, Dr. Anifa, sir. I request you to conduct the further proceedings. Over to Professor Anifa.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Ramesha and Professor Kesava, for the wonderful. I truly appreciate your kind words and warm welcome. And also it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome all of you again to the webinar on NAAC accreditation, Demystified, that's the preparation, process, and progress organized by the IATLIS. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the organizers of the webinar and IATLIS for giving me this opportunity. And again, it is a great honor to welcome Professor Tadasad and Dr. Suresh Jenje, our distinguished speakers, to the webinar. As Professor Ramesha mentioned, NAAC accreditation is crucial for higher education institutions in India, as it serves as a benchmark of quality, ensuring that academic institution meet established standards of excellence in teaching, learning, research, infrastructure, and faculty and student support. Accreditation enhances the credibility and reputation of institutions, making them more attractive to students, faculty, and funding agencies, as Professor Ramesha mentioned in Bangalore University. So it promotes a culture of continuous improvement and accountability, while also enabling institutions to access government grants and schemes that tie to quality assurance. And today we are honored to have two distinguished speakers with us to deliver their presentations. In the first session, Professor Tadasad will speak on the topic, a very interesting and very important topic on how getting ready for NAAC accreditation, re-accreditation process. And in the second session, Dr. Suresh Jenge will speak on the topic NAAC beyond librarianship. And each talk is limited to 40 minutes, or with 5 minutes for discussion and question and answer. I encourage all of the participants, your active participation, and engage with our speakers during the question and answer session. And I kindly request you to keep your microphone muted during the talk. Without further delay, let us begin with our first speaker. We are truly honored to have Professor Tadasad with an excellent topic. Professor Tadasad is a senior professor and chairman of the Department of Library and Information Science at the KSW University, Vijayapura. He holds the position of Director IQAC and coordinator of the NEP 2020 Implementation Task Force also. He has held several administrative roles as mentioned by Professor Ramesha, including Registrar Evaluation, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, and Finance Officer, etc. He has also served the university in various capacities as member syndicate, member academic council, member IQAC, member PME board, etc. And he has published more than 200 research papers and edited 11 books. He successfully guided 20 doctoral students, and currently 7 students are pursuing their PhD under his supervision and guideship. He received many awards like A.G. Motiwala Award for Young Library Professionals and RRLF Award for Young Contributors, and also visited many countries, including Germany, France, on academic assignments. He's an active member of professional bodies, including ILA, IATLIS, and served as a regional secretary of IATLIS. He is the editor of ILA newsletter and one of the editors of the editorial committee for the Journal of Indian Association of Indian Library Association and Library Journal of Library Development. And again, getting ready for NAAC accreditation or re-accreditation process is crucial for ensuring that an institution meets the highest standards of quality in higher education. It not only helps in assessing and also improving the institutional performance across various areas like curriculum delivery, research infrastructure, and student support, and also at the same, but also demonstrate the institution's commitment to continuous development. So it's a very important and very relevant topic. Professor Tadasad will be sharing his valuable experience and insights on how we can getting ready for NAAC accreditation or re-accreditation process, offering us a unique opportunity to learn from his deep knowledge and experience. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Tadasat. Sir, we are excited to hear from you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your words. I'm also indebted to my friend Ramesha for saying many good things about me. I'm indeed very happy to be associated with IATLIS. And again, with immense pleasure, the moment Ramesha called me, I said yes to give a lecture on NAAC accreditation and re-accreditation process. Madam, can you just upload? Can you just start presenting the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I have been asked to make a presentation on how to get ready for the NAAC accreditation or re-accreditation process. Both the speakers, as they highlighted that accreditation is an important, it plays an important role in an institution's achievements. Yeah, go to next slide. And we have at least two agencies till now, NAAC and NBA, which are accrediting, and even Indian Council of Agricultural Research is doing accreditation for agricultural institutions, and ICMR, they are doing some, not exactly like that of accreditation purpose, but they are monitoring, including the AICTE, which is monitoring the thing, and ICMR is doing on behalf of, they are not actually accrediting. Accrediting agencies are NBA, ICAR, and the NAAC. These are the three institutions which were doing this NAAC accreditation thing. I mean, assessment of quality culture is the basic purpose. And this quality culture used to be assessed in terms of what initiatives we have made and how we are sustaining them, and what enhancement that we have made in terms of our vision or organizational operations or any other best practices or the process that we are undertaking, what kind of quality that we are inculcating into entire operations of the institutions. That's being assessed by the NAAC. And this thing is usually done by means of few documents which we submit, the data that we provide, plus some site observations that the peer team or some other team will make a visit and they do it. This is the process that is going on. My university, first I was associated with Gulbarga University as a lecturer. 1999, I think, Suresh. Is it 1999?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1999, I was involved in the process. Very few universities went for NAAC accreditation, and the then Vice Chancellor, she decided to go for NAAC accreditation. And that time, the story was something different. The NAAC team visiting, the NAAC team entering into the campus, inspecting and all that. But those things have invariably changed over the periods, and the process of accreditation being standardized, and the entire process became standardized in 2007 when revised assessment and accreditation framework came into picture, and all the institutions were asked to put their data on portal, on the NAAC portal, including the university website. Everything was going fine. Everything was going fine because benchmarks were not issued. The moment benchmarks were issued, institutions came to know that if I get this, then I'm going to get. The NAAC accreditation process took a change the moment benchmarks were announced. The moment, till then, the earlier institutions, particularly, I think two of them are here. I don't know whether anyone from Mysore University is here. Tumkur University is here. They were one of the first universities when our revised accreditation process framework was announced. It was a tough time for them because they were not knowing benchmark. They went for it and they got some rank. why I am telling, even University of Mysore was the first one. They were the first one. They were the first one to go for accreditation immediately after this revised framework came in. They were not knowing the limitation. Once the limitation came to know, I have organized 14 workshops, but I will get marks if I organize 15. That is the benchmark. Then the institution started cooking the data. This kind of process deviated the entire process, and we know the January 2025 issue, the most unfortunate incident that took place. I'll talk about it. In the meantime, when NEP 2020 came into picture, previous slide, please. Previous slide, please. When the NEP 2020 came into picture, NEP 2020 wanted to have one framework for accreditation for different kinds of institutions, and it made it mandatory for all the institutions to go for accreditation by 2030, because that is the deadline from which onwards there will be 3 kinds of institutions. Accordingly, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan Committee report was appointed, which submitted its report in November 2023, that came out with a proposal for binary or maturity-based graded accreditation. To support to this, NAAC has come out with 3 circulars, one in June 29th, second one is August 14th, and the third one, February 24th. So these 3 circulars, February 10th, these 3 circulars, they gave some kind of tentative procedure. Next slide, please. They gave some tentative procedure for those organizations. Next one, please. The press release of 10th February 2025, it says that Dr. Radhakrishnan Committee recommendations, NAAC has proposed to launch binary operations somewhere in April-May 2025, that we are expecting it soon. And this will be followed by maturity-based graded levels accreditation framework. That will come somewhere later, but now we are expecting at least this basic accreditation process to come into picture. Special working groups are they are working to prepare the framework, but the process of accreditation, as Professor Ramesh has highlighted, even Hanifa has told, that accreditation plays an important role in funding, even in internationalization of higher education system and all that. All the higher education systems want to go for accreditation, and this has made many of the higher education systems to have knocked the door of NAAC for accreditation, but their cases pending. For such cases, the executive committee of NAAC has recommended to adopt some kind of a tentative procedure till the binary process or the real framework is framed. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah, they have given a tentative procedure that those who are in cycle 2 or above, they can retain the validity of their present grade until the basic accreditation and MBGL are launched, or they can choose to go for RAF in the present system. Or those who want to go for accreditation now, they can do it only after launching. But as I told you, that the internationalization and the funding things and status, of course, if any of the institution wants to go for accreditation, they can go for accreditation under the present circumstances. With colleges will be going for online mode of peer team visit, and the universities hybrid mode will be followed. This is the tentative mode that has been proposed for them. The next one, please. The Dr. Radhakrishnan committee report has recommended, there are 13 major recommendations. The first recommendation is the major shift from the 8th grade scaling A++, A+, A, B++, B+, B, C, D, E. 8th grading system from NAAC, they want to shift Immanuel Kant's dichomatic theory of yes or no, A or B, that is accredited or not accredited. Accredited or not accredited. They have completely simplified the process. This is for the first level. And not accredited, there are two categories. One is those institutions which are nearing the threshold point but not accredited. And the second one, those institutions that have not at all been accredited, those who are far below the standards of accreditation. This is the two group. That's why I said this is Immanuel Kant's dichomatic theory, that those who are accredited or those who are not accredited, that means to that extent rat race will be stopped. In the second stage, among those who have been accredited, depending on their expertise, depending on their strength, depending on their limitations and scope, they can raise their accreditation bar on a 5-scale system from level 1 to level 5. Level 1 to level 5. Level 1 to level 4, the institutions are categorized as institutions of national excellence, whereas the level 5 institutions will be recognized as institutions of global excellence for multidisciplinary research and education. That means those educations which will be labeled as level 5 will have to offer multidisciplinary education. They should have quality research, and both the systems they should have. This is another shift. The third shift is quite interesting. Exactly now it is taking place unofficially, but this enables the choice-based ranking for diverse stakeholders. For students, we require a kind of a rank, different kind of a diverse ranking. For funding purpose, we need something else. For status purpose. So for that kind of a thing, the present system, the Radhakrishnan's committee also has recommended to go for choice-based ranking systems. This will enable the institutions to have different kinds of ranking statuses for different purposes. Now, as I told you in the beginning, that there are certain program-specific accreditation systems like NBA, and there are institution-specific accreditation like NAAC. Now, the proposed system want to amalgate the program accreditation and institution accreditation together, because both are interdependent on each other. And the proposed structure wants to have a composite assessment system that they have discussed in the Radhakrishnan's committee report as star plots, how this can be achieved, how this can be enabled, and all that. Those who are interested, they can go through the Radhakrishnan's report, chapter 9. They can study in detail. The next slide, please. Now, in few years back, this program was started by NAAC, that it identified certain institutions to mentor the below graded institutions or help them to upskill their ranking, NAAC ranking and all that. So now it enables, the proposed framework enables to mentor the institutions that lie well below the standards of accreditation. The institutions with higher accreditation ranking, higher weightage points can mentor them. And the sixth implication is that to make the accreditation process highly simplified. The present system has made it simplified, but we need to upload documents, everything and all that. Now, there is again another proposal that now the time limit is for 5 years. They want to extend it to 6 years. And they are really interested to delimit the AICT's technical education programs 1 year inspection every year that they do it, so that also will be eliminated in the time to come if that scope falls within the NAAC purposes and all that. So basically they want to simplify the accreditation process, and for that reason they are coming out with many matrices, many devices and all that. And now they want to include all higher education institutions, and they want to include every single program in the newly proposed assessment framework for statutory dispensations. That means they want to bring even Indian Institute of Technologies into this framework. They want to include all programs, all higher education institutions. Now 90% of the higher education institutions have been included. Sanskrit universities have been included, medical institutions, paramedical institutions have been included, engineering institutions have been included. Those still which are left behind will also be included in the present framework. The next one, please. Till now, we were following one single framework for all institutions. But there are different kinds of institutions whose purposes are different, whose activities are different. But using one single framework, we cannot assess all institutions. The orientation and vision will lead to different kinds of frameworks. For example, multidisciplinary institutions, research-specific institutions, we need a different framework for teaching, purely teaching-based institution. And we require framework for specialized streams, vocational schemes, those institutions that are purely engaged in community engagement, and again, the rural and remote located institutions. We need to have different frameworks to assess them. So now this proposes to have different frameworks. And again, there is a lot of difference between those 4 universities which are established in the year 1876 and those universities which are established in the year 2020. You just cannot compare with the single framework assessment. So now we need to make certain categorizations rather than one size fits all model. We need to have different models for different categories of institutions. That's what is the purpose of this proposed scheme. The next one, please. Till now, the processes, outcomes, they had some prominence in the present NAAC accreditation system. Majorly, it was input-based assessment. Now, the proposed system would like to have more weightages on the outcome, more weightages on the impact, keeping in mind the accreditation practices at the global level. Now, it wants to give different weightages to inputs, process, outcomes, and the impact that the institution has made on the society, made on that across different attributes. So framework on these things is being now done. Linking parameters to essential variables is also now being done by different committees. Now, these frameworks will be integrated, will be fit into a unified elicitation tool that they want to have a single platform on which we have to provide all our data for all purposes. This shall be an inbuilt design for collateral cross-checking. But only, I assume, when the present AISHE came into picture, AISH portal came into picture, we were told that this will be a unique portal where data from all institutions will be taken on one single platform. Now we have another portal. AISHE has its own framework, UGC has its own framework, different agencies have different frameworks, and whenever data is asked, we are supposed to provide data in their required format. Now, if this really comes into picture, we will be really happy to provide data. One-time data will be provided. One data, one nation, one data. The next one, please. One nation, one data platform is being developed. How to fix the parameters, what kind of data needs to be assessed. I mean, the characteristics of one nation, one data is that it provides adequate access control, and it has better security features. It ingests harmonized data into it, and it permits the institutions a single point data entry for all different purposes. This will be a flexible one. A robust data management system will be there, and more or less it is compatible with the existing national digital framework. It is compatible with NDR, India 2.0, Gati Shakti, Samarth, Swayam 2.0, Aish portal, whatever the frameworks that we have right now, this portal, One Nation, One Data platform, will be compatible with all these systems, and those who are using these frameworks will not have any problem in inputting the data into the NAAC purposes. The next one, please. Next one. Yeah, 12th point and 13th point were there, but now they want to make punishment a more stronger one for wrongdoings, for wrong submissions, for all those things. The ethical issues are considered, and trusting the agencies. So this thing was there, and they will come out with many more actions, so it will be done and all that. And that is those two, that point is there. And the second one is having a robust mechanism, attracting more stakeholders, attracting more potential entrants, and creating awareness about accreditation, because by 2030 we have to assess thousands of institutions of higher educational systems, because by 2030 we have to pave the way for the second stream, that is the recognizing three categories of institutions: teaching only, research only, teaching and research. That kind of requirement is there. That means we have hardly 5 to 6 years, and this process it requires more number of potential entrants to the system, and we don't know how it will be done. So the next one, please. The proposed framework, earlier we had 7 criteria: curriculum, teaching learning, research, infrastructure, student support services, governance, best practices. These were there, 7 criteria were there. But now you just go through these 10 points. Just go through, these are the 10 things: curriculum, faculty resources, learning and teaching, research and innovation, extracurricular and co-curricular activities, community engagement, green initiatives, government and administration, financial resources and management. Is there anything new in this? Those 7 points are now divided into 10. Those which were part of those criteria, particularly faculty resources was part of learning and teaching. Community engagement was part of something else. Green initiative was part of something else. Financial resource management was part of governance and administration. Now, those things have been divided and they were made separate entities, and certain weightage points are being given to them. The earlier 7 categories still exist, but some categories have been divided and they were separately made. They were separated because the NAAC, the assessment framework, wants to give more emphasis on those points. Learning and teaching, faculty resources were part of learning and research. Now, faculty resources as an independent parameter will have a certain weightage, will have certain questions, And I don't think, we'll see the next things. You can understand how things will run and all that. The next one, please. Now, the first parameter is curriculum. Curriculum is divided into 4 components. All parameters are divided into 4 parameters. Input, that remains source of the content which is open for public viewing in their portals. Earlier NAAC, the present NAAC, this process was there. Even this process of obtaining students' feedback, teachers' feedback, stakeholders' involvement, method of periodic upgradation, we were asked question whether your curriculum is being upgraded, how frequently it is upgraded. Now attach the syllabus, attach the BOS proceedings. They were all, those questions were all asked. Review process, transparent and responsible and inclusive methods of functioning, expanding access to high quality technical and occasional teachings. So this entire process, I am not finding any new question rather than the existing thing. But the platform on which we are providing data differs. The type of information that we provide information differs. And certainly this time in this process, how you have implemented NEP 2020, what programs you are running under NEP 2020, what multidisciplinary programs you are running, what kind of indigenous knowledge system that you are inculcating. The NEP 2020 questions which are now part of AQVR, after that part B, the generic questions which are being asked to write within 50 words or 100 words, those things are now converted into questions, and you are supposed to provide your data substantiated with evidences. This is the only difference that I can see in the process part. And the same thing holds good with the outcome. The same questions were asked. Successful completion of the course. We used to provide list of students who have completed courses. What is the success rate? Everything. Time management, result announcement, everything. So we are all providing that kind of data. Innovative ideas, teaching content, contextualized basis, multidisciplinary and holistic education that I'm talking about in the outcome. What is the outcome? The AQVR, those who have answered AQVRs in generic questions on the NEP preparedness, now you be ready to provide exact data with supporting answers, supporting evidences. The impact, again, this outcome part and impact part, I'm sure will have more weightages compared to the input and process output. So this is clear from their stakeholders meeting and all that. Now, again, the same kind of data we have provided. Progression towards higher level of education, educated needs of the society, increased possibilities, skilled workforce, linking with different jobs and all that, involvement in the entrepreneurship projects. So these kinds of questions we are answering now. And I'm not finding anything which is totally different, but I'm sure the way data provision will be different. The way we have to provide the data, the way we have to substantiate the data will be different. And rather than institutional portal, this will be made available on the publicly available domain. That's why we need to be very careful in providing the data towards it. And I'm sure NEP 2020 and its related parameters will have a major say in the curriculum aspect. The next one, please. Faculty resources. These were part of teaching learning. These were part of teaching learning, and faculty profile was the question. And there are some differences you can observe. Shortlisting personality aspects, pedagogy, R&D aptitude in the process, if you see, or the applications received. See, the faculty profile, limited number of questions were asked, for which it was majorly an input-based thing. Institution used to provide who are the teachers, when they were appointed, and all those things. But now the existing, the proposed framework asks more data on this. The proposed system asks more data about faculty resources, because for government institutions cannot lie. Documents have to speak for government institutions, but non-government institutions, they can cook the data, they can prepare the data. That's why this data, I'm sure, has asked, because merit-based selection lists, reflection in career path of students, what kind of impact it is being done. Now, how they are going to frame them, I'm not sure, but one thing I'm very much I'm confident that there will be more questions, there will be more weightage on faculty resources, and there will be, the institutions have to take very much care about providing details about faculty resources. They have to create. The third one is learning and teaching. Again, I'm not seeing anything different from the earlier data which is being asked. There were few questions, but they were not categorized as whether it is input-based, process-based, or outcome or impact. As I told you in the beginning, the weightage, more weightage will be there on the process, on the outcome, and on the impact that it creates. And it is not only from the institution's input data, they will use it crowdsourcing from other agencies. They will pull the data, they will verify the data that you have provided to different agencies, and they will come out with their own kind of things. The input is diversity of content and contemporary issues in content delivery. What kind of teaching that they do it? Only the normal classrooms, or they are using some other kinds of teaching practices, the pedagogies that they have involved, how they are cultivating deeper interest in subjects and all that. The process, they are interested in process. When they are interested in process, how it will be quantified, I'm not sure. Now, the questions about this process was asked in a descriptive way. What are the teaching methods that you have practiced? Provide with the data. So every institution that used to say, other than the normal teaching, we used to have ICT oriented. They used to give all the pedagogies, and they used to attach the photographs, a teacher standing in front of a LCD, and then picture used to be uploaded, descriptive kind of answer used to be provided. But this descriptive kind of thing, I'm sure, will not elicit the proper data. It will not elicit how this will be converted into metrics. That I'm also interested, but they are interested to know the outcome of this learning and teaching. How holistic and contextual understanding of the subject will impact learning in life. How promotion of research activity and new areas of thoughts are being undertaken. How the aptitude of connecting insights across domains is being developed. These are the outcomes that the NAAC would like to measure from the stakeholders that I told you, the students, the employees, the other stakeholders. That I'm sure this outcome will be measured considering the data from other stakeholders, and what impact that the present learning and teaching will be having, will be bearing the attainment of learning outcomes. We are also doing it. Attainment of learning outcome we have done. It is basically an input oriented. We are doing this, that taxonomy, we have done it, we did it, this, and statistician used to be consulted, and all the data used to be that impact. But this time, the impact will be measured from the crowdsourcing. The impact will be measured as their claim goes right. Certain things are taken from us, certain things will be taken from certain stakeholders, and that will be cross-checked before coming out with some kind of a grade. The next one, please. Research and innovation. The input, what is our new imagination, what new problems we are working on it, I mean, what policy that we have and all that. Usually that will be the first question, whether the institution has a research policy, describe the characteristics of research policy, what kind of accreditation. So that input, based on that input, there are different processes. What kind of interdisciplinary research is being carried out. And I'm sure some extent the library will have its role. And I'm sure Suresh Jange will have a deeper discussion on this process and outcome. And the InflipNet or any other such agency will be having a major role in measuring the research and innovation things. But we should document what we have worked out. What are our publications? What are our patents? And to what extent we are collaboratively participating in research. Actually, we are participating. Our collaboration is within the department. We are having a good collaboration. Within the institutions, we are having good collaborations. But even outside collaboration, we think that collaboration means collaborations with funded collaborations and all that. We just forget to document the real collaboration which is taking place in the institutions. That needs to be mapped. And the impact, increase in citations, the peer group recognition, stakeholder impact, better funding, what kind of funding was obtained, how many research funds was drawn and all that. So this is the impact that they would like to measure. I'm sure the institution's library, InflipNet, and other institutions will be having a major role. Particularly, the institution's library and librarian will have more role in documenting the research, and measuring the impact of this metrics will be dependent on the college librarian. I'm sure Suresh will have more discussion on this. The next one, please. Yes, extracurricular and co-curricular activities. Even now, we used to provide this kind of data, how these are being represented, what kind of programs are organized by student welfare organization or student welfare office, the sports meets and all that. So I'm not finding much difference, but this is an area where each institutions, each college can score heavily. All of us are participating, all of us are conducting extracurricular programs, extracurricular activities, but only thing is we are not documenting it. This is one area where I'm not finding any major differences, and this is one area where even now all the institutions are scoring, and there I'm sure in the proposed framework also there is a possibility to score more in this criteria also. The next one, please. Community engagement is another, to show how we are responsive to the society, neighborhood and all that. So how our curriculum is adjusted towards the community engagement, what are our outreach activities, how we are undertaking projects, internships. The same data we are providing right now under criteria 1, criteria 3, criteria 5. Even to some extent we are providing this data in criteria 7. The same data now it is being segmented as community engagement, and I don't think to what extent it is related to curriculum, what relevance it has. What is the increased involvement of the students? At the one hand, we have given a list of students, and on the other hand, how many have taken participation? If the student strength is more, your participation should also be more. If student strength is huge, participation is very less, then the community engagement, you can score very least in the community engagement, particularly through NSS, NCC, Scouts and Guides, and other fieldwork things that we will normally have. The next one, please. Green initiatives. It's part of best practices. It was part of criteria 7. We are giving certain input for green initiatives, the credits that we are giving in, the process, how we are using renewable energy, how we are managing the waste, what environment friendly initiatives that we are taking, and what eco restoration that we are developing. Are we going for any water harvesting, water recycling processes? The one new thing that I find it here is appreciation towards the importance of achieving SDGs rapidity. This was not there earlier in our present accreditation system. This is one. And what kind of questions will be asked? Because this was a general question. How you are achieving SDG goals in the next years to come. This was a general question. Now it is made as one of the matrices under processes, and what kind of question will be asked, to what extent that will be fulfilled, that we need to be very careful. And outcome, yes, there were two or three questions right now, nothing new. Shift towards renewable energy questions were asked. There were 1 or 2 questions. What kind of renewable energy sources that you are making use of? What is your current electricity bill? These kinds of questions were asked. And the same kind of questions will still remain in the outcome. And this reduction of carbon footprint.
Sir, pardon for interruption. So we have to conclude within 5 minutes.
Yeah, yes. I have, another 2 or 3 slides, I think.
Okay, sir, please.
Yeah. The next one, please. The governance and administration. The governance and administration, again, this part of acts, statutes, regulations, how you are implementing them, they were all there. Conflict resolutions, how you are making transparency. These were all descriptive questions. Whether in place of descriptive questions, how these will be turned into some other matrices or some measurable matrices is a question now. The mission to achieve vision. This is completely a new parameter with which we have to give certain light. We have to throw light on, because this mission to achieve the vision, these were the questions were part of curriculum 1, criteria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These were the questions which were found in different criteria. Now everything related to governance, they have brought it here and they have put it here. And what kind of implementation. And the one more thing, that to what extent your GER is increased. This is the outcome. To what extent you are responsible for the enhancement of GER. This is one criteria where you will be weighed in. The next one, please. Infrastructure development also, there was nothing much new. It was all those data which were part of criteria 4 are now put here, but major stress will be on outcome and the impact. The next one. Financial resources, it was part of criteria 6. Few questions were asked as part of criteria 3, criteria 4, criteria 5. Now, all those things, all questions related to financial resources. Seed money was asked for criteria 3. Support for conferences, it was there in criteria 6. See, there are the questions which are there in the processes. You can find each of the questions in all different things. In all different criteria, you can find out. Now, as I told you, now, the only difference that we may find, as I feel, is that instead of portal-based, the next one, please. The next one, please. This is the proposed weightage that they have given. During one of the stakeholders meeting, this is the proposed structure. This is not the final structure. This is not the final structure. The structure for university and autonomous colleges, they remain the same, whereas slide, please. Dr. Hema, what happened? Someone started presenting, I think. Yeah. There will be 59 matrices for universities, 56 for affiliated colleges, and 46 for affiliated colleges, 56 for autonomous colleges. 10 parameters. There will be situatedness and impact. Each institutions will carry 100 points and all that. The next one, please. Next one, please. Next. Still two things are pending. One, they want to go for immediate action and midterm action. The immediate action is that they want to capture and validate common data used by all agencies. This is their immediate need. The next one, they want to have the one nation, one data platform they want to start. And immediately now they want to start this binary and maturity based accreditation level 1 to level 5. Now, binary they want to start immediately, and the one which I have made it in bold, the features of NEP 20, SDG 20, G20 points, they will find immense place, or they will find major space in the proposed NAAC framework. The next one. The short range is that they want the next one. The next one. They want to capture and validate. Yeah, they want to no, let the slide be. They want to capture the super implications. They want to go for all the agencies, and they will come with one standard platform. Now, how to go about it? Because as of now, no SOPs have been released, no manuals have been released. Visit NAAC websites for announcements of circulars. Go through your AQARs. There will not be a major change for further documentation required. Whatever you have documented in AQAR, leave it. Check whether further documentation is needed.
Okay.
In the beginning, for cycle 2 onwards, there may not be radical changes in the data presentation till the announcement of revised manuals and matrices. As in the case of 2017, what they said was 2015, 2016, 2014 data, earlier data, they took it in the earlier format. I am sure that same kind of things that they will go for it till the new processes completely begins. Start documenting the activities, the earlier piece. However, be ready to provide customized data when it is purely asked. Make your IQAC more ICT centric. Maintain uniformity in submitting data to different agencies. This is the most important thing that I request everyone. Our habit is to submit different data. Our student intake will be 25 for one, 34 for another, 54 for another. But this will not happen now onwards, because all websites will be seen, and from that onwards they will crowdsource the data. So be ready to provide unified data. Make SWOT analysis of your institution, and particularly come out with complete perfect compliance report for earlier NAAC observation reports. Know what is required. Now, be sure that you are not providing data on a NAAC portal, or you are not hosting data on your website. You are hosting your data on publicly available domain. That means the data will be made available under RTI, and that it will surely have RTI implications. With this in mind, let us start. How to start? Wait, watch, because nothing imperfect, no matrices have come out. Only thing is, transparency is the need of the hour, and I'm not seeing major shift. Only thing is, we are providing data in the publicly available platform. That's what I can see it at present.
Okay.
With this, I thank Dr. Ramesh, Dr. K.M. Hanifa, the moderator, for giving me extra 5 to 10 minutes for talking to you in detail and all that. I'm really thankful to IATLIS for giving me an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Radasad, for your very informative and very systematic presentation, discussing all the aspects, including the tentative procedures, specifics of the proposed reforms, and the proposed framework, etc., etc. Now, to the audience, if you have any questions or doubts, now it is the time to ask. We have only 3 minutes for questions or clarifications you may have.
Even after 3 minutes, I'm available on PG Thursday.
Yes, at the end of we can discuss more.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, since in Karnataka NEP is trialed, it is not existed. In learning and teaching, it is added one of the main criteria. So how to fulfill this gap?
This will be one drawback for those states, not only Karnataka. There are many states which have not implemented NEP 2020, and I'm sure that will be to some extent a negative thing. But only thing is, as of now, we are providing multidisciplinary education. We are participating in some other activities. Through that, we can take shelter. But I'm sure since though we have implemented NEP 2020, we have not proceeded further regarding the pure, coming out with STEM approach or whatever. Those things we have not really followed, and I'm sure it will affect us. It will affect us.
I think you have locked the participant because of you have to unlock.
Any other questions or any other comments?
Sir, now I to everyone.
Now it is
Ravi is having, I think. Dr. Ravi is having a question.
Professor Ravi and Professor Srinivas.
Yeah. Can I filter?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very good, very comprehensive presentation by Professor, and particularly highlighting the new dimension of the NAAC. As exactly mentioned, many of the aspects already we do have. Only we are really fitting that into the revised format. Particularly, we need to analyze in terms of the outcome and impact, the process and all that we have to be very much. And one aspect is that Madam was asking about NEP. Many of the components NEP already we have implemented, and even I would say that South Indian states, particularly the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Andhra, we already implemented many. It may be multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, lateral entry, and exit options. All those things it is there. Even vocational education and the different forms of the learning process, field trip, and the skill based, everything is there. And wherever it is coming, and we ought to give a descriptive statement that NEP, what are all the aspects that university also. We cannot say categorically because Tamil Nadu is also against this NEP. They are looking on their own policies. This and all is a matter. Even NAAC also take into cognition wherever the NEP is not full-fledged in the implementation. They have been not making this a negative aspect. So this is what I would like to, as a NAAC peer team member, and I would like to supplement what Professor has pointed out. And second thing, he made actually one observation that quite old universities, legacy universities like University of Bangalore or Madras University or Calcutta University or Mumbai University, of course they are having their long standing. But newly started universities, maybe the year in which 2005 or 6 or they might have started. But anyway, all these things for last 5 years performance only. There may be some lacunas in terms of the citations or other the legacy kind of things. But the standard when NAAC or any organization, when they are fixing it, there is uniform for all. So the last 5 year based on the last 5 year performance only, they are making it. So if they are again deviating the standard, because conventional universities, they are having a lot of limitations also in terms of economic changes, in terms of social changes, cultural changes, linguistic aspects, and many limitations during those days. Now it is because of the technology and globalization and the entire situation is different. So whoever may be the new institution or the old institution, they need to adhere to the standards whenever any accreditation or the quality assurance agency is, it may be of Times Higher Education or ESS, whatever it may be. So this is what my supplement. Anyway,
Thank you.
thanks for opportunity. Thank you, Prof. Talasan, for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other?
Professor Ravi, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon. First of all, I appreciate the efforts of IATLIS in organizing a webinar on a very important nascent and contemporary topic, which is of paramount interest for all the academic librarianship. And the resource person, it shows his vast experience right from the initial days to the current level. He explained all the various strategies, how NAAC is taking various, adopting new formula and new various done and that to combat the various other kind of practices which have been taken by the institutions to secure more grade. And whatever the measures they take, still there are some other avenues for such. Some institutes, they play a foul role that we have to see that such kind of things should be eradicated. And many things are still there. When comparing to publicly funded institutions, the private institutions, they have a lot of avenue because many things are primary source. They manipulate and make a lot of data. This is in such a way, though they were not for the education for all or not for the education for the poor and oppressed, but this is for something else, but still they are flourishing and flourishing, and that is going and far high. Such kind of things, NAAC should take some more measures to curb such kind of menaces, which such kind of institutions which are not for our own people. And this is all for something else we know very well, pretty well. We don't need to elaborate such kind of things. Somehow or some other ways of means, they are getting more and more levels, reaching the higher and higher, reaching the summit. But ultimately, we know pretty well who is doing well, who is doing the cause, real upliftment of the people of this country. This kind of webinars, really, it is an eye opener, and this we have to take in consideration, and some effort should be taken. And NAAC nowadays, they say that there should not be a jump in between the various cycles. If one more jerk is there, they are keeping another eye over it. This is in such a way they are making a lot of efforts, but still many more things are needed to be taken,
Yes,
so that such kind of practices should be eradicated. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Really appreciate
sir.
once again the efforts taken by the IATLIS. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Now we can go to the next session. I think we are running late. So it's a very important session. So even we can discuss at the end of the webinar, if time permits. So let us move on to our second session. And in the second session, we are truly honored to have a very eminent professor, library professional, Dr. Suresh Janjay. Dr. Suresh Janjay is the university librarian of Gulbarga University, Karnataka. He also holds the position of NAAC coordinator of the university, a gold medalist in BLISE and MLISE with excellent academic records. He served earlier at the ETDC, that is the Department of Electronics, Hyderabad, and the Tata Institute of Social Science, Mumbai. He is the coordinator of for Influence Center for E-Shod Sindhu and Shod Ganga and Indicate projects, and the National Digital Library of India, NAAC, and NIR of coordinator of university. He has led multiple UGC and state-funded projects and represented India in conferences across US, Europe, and Asia. A recipient of IFLA and Commonwealth Fellowships, he has published more than 120 research papers and graded 12 PhD. And currently, he holds leadership roles in national, regional, and library professional association, and received several prestigious awards, including ILA Gidwani Deshpande Award in 2017 and the Government of Karnataka's Best Librarian Award 2012. Today, we will discuss about a very interesting topic, that is, librarians now go beyond the traditional tasks of managing physical books and journals, databases, etc. And they are key contributors of research support, including data management and fostering information literacy, and all of which are critical to the NAAC accreditation process. So by actively supporting NAAC criteria such as teaching, learning, and research and innovations, and also student support, librarians, library professionals help in ensuring that the institution meets the required standards for academic excellence. So Dr. Suresh Janjay will share his vast experience, his insight on NAAC and NAAC beyond librarians. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Suresh Janjay to begin the session. Please. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon to all of you. I thank Professor Mohammad Hanifa for introducing me, sir. Professor B. Ramesha, the President of IATLIS, Professor Keshava, the General Secretary of IATLIS, Professor Hema, the Treasurer, my Guru, my teacher, Professor P.G. Tatsad, sir, all the esteemed members of IATLIS, the participants from different parts of the country, and my dear friends. Today, I have been entrusted with the responsibility to deliver a talk on a National Assessment and Accreditation Council, more focused on what is the role of librarians in this entire process of a NAAC. My PPT is visible, no?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes. When this Higher Education System Assessment and Accreditation Council, it's in fact, it is mandatory for all the academic institutions, whether it's a college or a university or a research institute, to undergo this entire process of a NAAC so as to ensure and assure the quality and excellence prevails in the entire process of learning, teaching, research, and extension activity. In this process of a NAAC, what is the role of a librarian is a big concern for all of us. The thing is, as on date, it was a revived accreditation framework wherein it contains 1,000 marks for the entire activity of a NAAC. But what is our portion was, it was only a 20 marks which they have incorporated or earmarked for a library as a learning resource center. In this 20 marks, what is our role? Whether we should confine only to the 20 marks of a library, or we should act and play a significant role beyond these 20 marks so that we can contribute for the development and a better accreditation of our university or a college. See, the thing is, we the librarians, we should be very diligent and very active, especially whenever we hear the term called a NAAC. Because अगर NAAC grading कम आया तो क्या बोलते हैं, यार हम तो बहुत अच्छा ग्रेडिंग आ सकता था, मगर थोड़ा लाइब्रेरी के वजह से थोड़ा मार खाया. This is the normally tendency that we hear, especially in the degree colleges or the state university. So that is the reason, we should be very cautious and we should be very active and dynamic. भैया ये लाइब्रेरियन कैसा है, जिंदगी आसान नहीं होता, जिंदगी आसान करना पड़ता है, कुछ अंदाज से, कुछ नजरअंदाज से. So my outline of presentation would be slide is not moving.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, can you just slide?
No, sir.
It's not moving.
No.
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, close the slideshow.
Okay.
Then go to PPT. Then make it slideshow. Then again share the window.
Okay.
It will stuck for a moment.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. Now the
Yeah.
PPT, just move the slides.
I think it's getting hang a bit.
Could you share that PPT to me, sir?
Yeah, I sent to your email ID.
Okay.
Anyhow, in the meantime, see, my dear library professionals, this is purely based upon my experience as a IQS and NAAC coordinator of Gulbarga University, wherein very recently we have completed the 4th cycle of NAAC accreditation. And here, so my focus for my presentation here is to tell you what is the role of a librarian, especially in the NAAC accreditation framework. So as it has been very comprehensively explained by my teacher, Professor P.G. Tatsar sir, regarding the recent binary accreditation framework. So I will touch upon a bit, and I will just try to explain the important role being played by librarians in a different criteria one by one. See, we are all, in this fascinating time of a change and a promise. We have seen tremendous changes in the information industry, and we have been more bothered about quality and excellence. Whenever there is a growth of education institutions in the country, definitely the quality becomes a serious concern for all of us. And today, when we talk about quality and excellence, there are a lot of national accreditation bodies which are available, like national, like this is a NAAC is one thing, and National Board of Accreditation, or NIRF, or a Times Higher Education University Ranking System, or QS ranking. So these are all different ranking systems which are available, but we are more bothered about a NAAC here. Okay. So when we look into the different standards, always we are bothered only about the NAAC. You see, when you look at the library standards, the 5 laws of library science itself is a model for us to have a very quality edge over this our entire NAAC process. So the only thing is, we should analyze, interpret each and every law of library science and apply in our colleges or a university, so that itself will become more standardized form for achieving a better accreditation for a colleges or a university. In addition to that, so there are a lot of ISO certifications, especially for a library, which we can look, like ISO 11620, that's the standard, and another is ISO 2789. These are all concerned with the standardization of library activities and services. Okay, but now very recently, because of the changes, the catalyst changes that we have seen, especially during 2025, especially like some correction charges, some other activities which we have seen, which was not warranted, in fact. So somehow there is the serious concern from the higher authorities of NAAC that should change from the revised accreditation framework, then they shift to binary accreditation framework. Okay. So in that process, if you just have a look at, if you just go to the NAAC website, there you will find that, very recently, that is on 2nd April and also the May 2nd of this 2025. If you just have a look at it, then you will come to know that you can opt either a binary accreditation framework or another is a maturity-based graded system. Okay. But still, when you search online, especially from the Google, when you go to a NAAC website, you will not find a detailed manual, especially for this binary accreditation or a maturity base, because this is still under process. Okay. The only thing is, as on date, let us understand the existing 7 criteria. Okay. So that we can do better. We can, just I will just go one by one, quite completely each aspect of our criteria, and where librarians can play a very important role. Try to find out that. So in the meantime, I think they are sharing my PPT that becomes more effective. Okay. And see, when earlier it was only a 7 criteria, as it was rightly pointed out by our teacher, and now we have 10 criteria. It's all instead of 7. Hema, is it? Can you share it? Hema, is it okay? Yeah. Right. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. That's some issue. Right. Go to next, actually. Next slide, please. Anyhow, Hema, is it okay?
Sir, if it is not working in the presentation mode, we can go for the normal mode. The
Okay,
editing mode.
fine. Okay, fine. Okay. Now, see, we always talk about beyond librarianship, right? Okay. So the reason is, जितना हमको काम दिया है उतना काम करे तो हमको बहुत ज्यादा उतनी it will be very fine for all of us, right? So normally we think यार जो 20 marks में है हम जितने भी काम करेंगे तो बस है. But it is not like, the librarians are not confined to like only this criteria 4.2, because we have to play an important role in each and every parameter, each and every criteria. Of course, when you look at the criteria, okay, there are out of 7. Okay, yeah. See, when you look at, let us come specifically to this criteria 4.2 library as a learning resource center. See, when you just have a look at our criteria 4.2, only 2 questions are there. One question is pertaining to this is regarding the specifically about a library digitization facility, automation facility, and that carries a 15 marks. And another is like it is an expenditure that is involved in books and a journal, that is a 5 marks. There are 20 marks are there when you look only from the angle of library 4.2. So under this particular criteria 4.2, what should be our role? Okay, how we can really play an important role in this? Of course, it is our cup of tea. We can do that, but before that, before filling the exact data for your criteria 4.2, try to understand, and prepare yourself for what is the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges of your library in particular. That is a very important aspect which you have to prepare yourself well in advance. And you need to understand what is the difference between quantitative matrix and qualitative matrix as such. Okay. So quantitative matrix is something different from qualitative matrix. See, when you see our criteria 4.2, so criteria 4.2.1, it is a qualitative matrix which carries 15 marks. Okay, that is because whether library has been automated, whether library has been digitized, what sort of innovative active services that we are carrying out. That 15 marks question is purely a qualitative one, and this qualitative matrix will be evaluated by the peer team when he or she visits practically to your university or a college under the old revised accreditation framework. Okay, so that is a qualitative matrix. And what is the quantitative matrix? So average expenditure that you have done for the last 5 years for books or journals, that is what quantitative matrix. Okay, so in these 2 questions, when we have to prepare. So there, like the, I think there is a missing of PPTs creating an issue. Anyhow,
Sir, are you able to present in
Yeah.
the normal mode without?
yes, I can do it. I can do it.
It's moving,
Only
It's
thing is
moving.
I should have shown them the
Yes.
things that were required that were missing. Anyhow,
Yes, sir.
See,
Sir, it's moving
yeah.
now, sir. It's moving.
Huh? It's
Sir,
moving.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's moving. Slide is moving. No problem. It's moving.
Okay. Yeah. Just you come to our live next one. Library 4.2.
Sir,
Moving. If you show 4.2, that's because that's a major concern for our librarians. Okay. Not opening. If it's not possible, then okay, I'll just continue like that one. Not issue. Okay. Then you
yes, sir. Now
See
it's
here.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
moving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you just come back to criteria 4.2?
Sir, it's your presentation only. You're only presenting it. You need to make a move.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now, yes, sir.
Yeah. See, now I think getting a hang. So criteria 4 is there. Okay. Now, can you have a look at this particular thing? It is getting slow. Now, 4.2.2, this is a behind one. So this was what actually I was trying to explain. The next is like 4.2.1, whether library is automated or not. When this, you have to, this is a descriptive thing which you have to write with a lot of preparation. It is not that just writing 500 words is simple. It is not that simple, because you have to touch upon the digital facilities that you are having, the LMS software that you are using it, what sort of subscription that you are doing for a library, and how it has been optimally utilized by the students, that you have to write. And this is going to be a qualitative metrics, which the marks will not be, because when you're submitting your this SSR, the marks will not be assigned for this qualitative metric, but only for a quantitative metric. Okay, this particular 4.2.1 is a 15 marks. And the next is the 4.2.2.1. It is for a annual expenditure for a purchase of a books and a journal, which contains a 5 marks. Here you have to just prepare for a 5-year data showing your expenditure involved for a books and journals. See, you should also note that this should be certified not only by your finance officer, but it should be certified by the respective chartered accountant. Then only this becomes valid. Okay. And here, when you just have a look at this 4.2.2, that is actually annual percentage of expenditure. Can you see this response 4.7.3? Okay, in this 4.7.3 means it is a what? It is an purely a mark when you submit your SSR. See, automatically the computer will generate and they will give the response. The response is 4.73. Okay. When you just, normally we the librarians will be under the impression, "Arey yaar, mujhe marks kitna mila hai?" Because for this 5 marks, how much marks I got it? See, there is a benchmark. Okay. So there's a benchmark you can see. So which is generated automatically. The grading will be 0 to 4. Okay. So here 0 means if it is less than 2. Okay. One mark they will give if your range is 2 to 6. So they will give 2 scoring if it is 6 to 8. They will give scoring 3 if it is scoring if your response is 8 to 10, and 4 is the highest one if it is more than 10. But what is the response that I got it for my budget? It is a 4.73. Means because I got 4.73, the highest marks is a 4, 0 to 4 scaling. Okay, but I got only 1. This shows that the budget of your library has to be improved. So this is actually, normally the budget today, many of the colleges or universities, not budget is earmarked. But whatever the budget it is there, when you submit your SSR, based upon the response rate, you will get your scoring, which is generated automatically. This is only in case of a second question, which contains 5 marks. But as far as the first question is concerned, it is purely 15 marks. There, when they come personally and physically visit to your university or college, at that time you should try to impress upon, so that you get a better scoring. Okay. And these are all the benchmarks, like it is not only the benchmark for librarians, it's a benchmark for different criteria. Okay. So I'm just showing one sample of 4.2 and also 3.41. Because you see, their scoring will be 0 to 4. Depending upon your tick, your response, they will give from the range from 0 to 4. Okay, but here one important aspect which you have to see it here is the standard operating procedures that everyone should follow it before going for a validation or before submitting a SSR or even a annual quality assurance report. You should go through your standard operating procedure, because what type of document you should upload, that you should have a look at it. And unfortunately, when you look at it, the standard operating procedure, especially in the metric 2.1, the number of full-time teachers, because not we have to give 5-year data about the full-time teachers. So there, unfortunately, the librarian and physical education director have to be considered only when if they teach belief science or MLib science or a MPed or a BPed. Since especially in the colleges under NEP, we got an opportunity to teach. Many of us are not taking classes or taking, then even the university also, the librarian like me, if I'm not handling the bachelor's degree or a master's degree classes, then our name will not be included in the full-time teachers which we are submitting under our revised accreditation framework, that to metric 2.1. This is unfortunate. Though we are getting all benefits, like we're all on par with the teachers, but unfortunately, the NAAC is very particular, highlighting in the red mark, saying that librarian and physical education director cannot be included in the full-time teachers unless and until they teach. Okay, anyhow, so what a role we can play as per my study, out of 1,000 marks under the revised accreditation framework, as a librarian, we can play important role in 3 marks, not just 20 marks. We can play a role about covering about 3 marks out of 1,000 marks. Always, we just think here, why I should see myself being a librarian in the college or university, only one staff without much supporting staff. Then you see, I am the only a librarian who is always who is right from a peon. I'm the peon. I am the person who involved in issue return, because in normally the colleges, what happened, only one librarian will be there, right? So only one librarian have to do a lot of work. Under such circumstances, we think that, why I should contribute more for the other criteria, when my criteria 4.2 is there, that is confined to me. Let me confine to only 4.2 and do that job. If that is the case from your side, then you are totally wrong. You cannot say like that, because our visibility, when we say our teacher of a teacher, then we should prove that really we are teacher of a teacher, right? So for that, you have to contribute more for each and every criteria. As per my private personal experience for the last 20 years, we can contribute to 303 marks in the NAAC process. This is just a login, how we have to do it, and these are things. And as already it has been explained by our esteemed teacher, there are 10 criteria here that is under input, process, outcome. Okay, the matrix are different, so under criteria 1, there are 8 sub matrix are there. Under input to faculty resources, there are 6 matrix are there. Under infrastructure, so we come under input 3, that is the infrastructure. There also we have to count, they have asked for average expenditure for a purchase of books, that is under 3.2 of the new binary system. And the 3.4 research resources, That is again whether the institution has a e-library, that is another, like especially whether they have membership for e-Shodha Sindhu or e-Shodha Sindhu Ganga or a plagiarism software. That is a 3.4, and 3.5 we have a Divangana friendly facilities. So under the criteria means 3 of infrastructure, especially under input, there are 3 questions which are directly relevant to our librarians. Okay, this we have to prepare. We have to prepare ourselves for this. Right now, the complete manual is not available. Maybe after May or June, we may come out with a complete manual. At that time, we can think. Similarly, input 4 is there. So 5 learning, teaching, 6 extended curricular, 7 governance administration, and 8 is the student outcome. 9th research innovation outcome. 10th is sustainability. That's the green initiative. That's fine. Now, let us see how the librarian can really contribute in each criteria. As on date, 10 criteria are there, but only thing is right now we are well versed with only 7 criteria. Till the other criteria, 3 criteria means this is only in this existing reverse accreditation framework. It was 7 criteria. Now they have extended to 10. Maybe bit here and there they have made a changes. And seeing the present situation of criteria 1 under reverse accreditation framework, where the librarians can really play an important role under criteria 1. Criteria 1 is a curricular aspect. Here, when you see the question 1.3.1, so it is saying that whether institution integrate cross-cutting issues relevant to professional ethics. See, in the professional ethics means what actually, how a library can contribute. As you are aware that, under 2019 of a UGC regulation, the research and publication ethics, which comprise of a true credit, and it is the only librarian who has who is having that skill to teach this research and publication ethics. Okay, so here as a librarian, you have to contribute. You cannot say it's the only teacher who are involved in teaching, they will contribute under this criteria. That is 1.3.1. So professional ethics is our part, because see, especially for plagiarism, plagiarism checking, or how to publish an article, it is a cup of tea of a librarian. Especially in the government degree colleges or private aided colleges, you have to tell them, you have to just think of this sort of a thing and contribute under criteria 1. And the 1.3.2, that is a number of certificate or value-added courses, especially through MOOCs or a SWAYAM or a Pathashala or NPTEL. See, many of the, especially when we take into account about the degree colleges, see, normally, they may not be aware much about the MOOCs or a SWAYAM or a Pathashala or NPTEL. But as a librarian, by default, you have a better understanding. And you have to inform to your teaching faculty that, sir, this is the EPG Pathashala, this is a Pathashala, this is a SWAYAM, this is a MOOCs. You have to train yourself and ensure that, your principal or your faculty will start offering courses using these online platform. For that, again, the library has to play a very important role. When you see under 1.3.3, that is a percentage of programs that the components of field projects or a research project or internship. See, internship nowadays, especially in a state university, so there we are all, carrying out the internship work of our own library students are coming to the library and we are offering internship. See, this sort of a data as a librarian, it is not only a state university, it even the degree colleges, some students who are pursuing their masters, they want to visit. It is not that they always go to IIM or IIT or a big institute. If they want to visit your college, and you can also conduct a 1-month internship program, which is a part of our master degree. When they come to you, you offer them internship for a 1 month. Okay, so those certificates also play a very important role and contribute to your college NAAC process. And more importantly, structural feedback for curriculum. See, under the curriculum, feedback is a very important thing. And today, the librarians are technology savvy. It is not that they're very traditional, especially for preparing an online survey, online tool. We are very good in doing all such things. So under such cases, the librarians can help the existing the principal for the team or IQC coordinator in preparing the online questionnaire and getting the feedback for a curriculum. This is how they can really contribute. And when you come to criteria 2, that's for teaching, learning, and evaluation. See, as a librarian, see, we should also support for the support to the slow learners and support to advanced learners. Yeah, because remedial coaching center, and majority of the colleges which have seen, or even from the state university aspect, See, majority of the librarians are holding a post, not only just an NAAC coordinator, IATLIS coordinator, or IT coordinator, they're also holding a post of a remedial coaching center. They can play an important role even under criteria 2. And very specifically, if you have a look at the criteria 2 under 2.3.1, so there is a one specific question which says that, means to what extent teachers use of ICT enabled tools, including online resources for effective teaching and learning process. See what type of online resources the teachers are using it, and here you have to supplement to your teaching faculty. You should inform to teachers that, sir, it is not only your books or a journal which you are having as a personal collection. There are online resources under e-Shodhas into consortia, or now it has become a one nation, one subscription. Plenty of the things are available. So those things they have to mention under the criteria 2. And as a librarian, you have to help them and tell that, so when you are writing, when you are contributing any data under the criteria 2.3.1 under the teaching learning evaluation, you should write about the use of online resources or learning resources which are available in the library. So in that way, that particular 2.3.1 factor becomes very important and supporting from the librarian perspective. And the most important is online student satisfaction survey. Okay, see the data of all the students are available only in the library. And whenever your principal or your IQSC person, if they ask the data of your students, that data is the fund of data is available in the librarian software only. You have to provide the details as per the format which they define it. And my experience that I want to share here is minimum 10% of the total population we have to get as a response as far as online student satisfaction survey is concerned. And if we don't get the minimum 10%, the entire process of your submission for a self-study SSR or the data validation becomes a nil, because this is the minimum thing that you should ensure that you get 10% of the total population, that is student satisfaction survey. For that, again, library is a very important role. Library has help. Since he is a very dynamic, very supportive, he has to go and request that the students fill up the online form which has been sent by the NAAC. So this is how we can really contribute under criteria 2. And more importantly, what our teacher Professor Petter was telling, how really we can play a very important role under criteria 3. Criteria 3 is a research, innovation, and extension. Here, the important aspect is, see the question what it is that the institutions, the research facilities are frequently updated and there are well-defined policy. Unfortunately, we do not have a research policy in our state university or colleges. I'm only talking from the perspective of a degree colleges or a state university where I am involved. I'm not talking about the IITs or a bigger institution or a central university where they have everything. See, when the question says that, so whether the institution has having a research facilities and whether they have a research policy, your college is having, if it is not having, you should tell them, sir, we have a library policy, we have a plagiarism policy, we have a remote access policy, we have a Shodhaganga policy for uploading all the thesis, and we have an institutional repository policy. These you have to prepare and contribute under 3.1.1 to your respective IQC coordinator. Okay, it is not only the research policy of the university or a research policy of the college as a general. As a librarian, you should tell them that, sir, the policy of our library or a plagiarism or a remote access or a Shodhaganga or that one nation, one subscription or a IR policy, you have to tell them and you have to contribute and write in that particular 3.1.1. And another important thing where we can play an important role is our ecosystem for creating a Indian knowledge system. IKS, Indian knowledge system, of course, it's a part of NEP. Unfortunately, some states are having NEP, some states are not having. But let us not bother about that. See, as a librarian here, you have to have, when somebody enters into the library, you make a separate rack. You collect the books concerned to Indian knowledge system. Say, okay, so you can just collect some 30, 40, 50, 100 books on Indian knowledge system and make, so you put in the almara showcasing that IKS document, Indian knowledge system collections. or you can display at the entrance of the library. These are all the books which are available on Indian knowledge system. This is how we can contribute to under criteria 3. And the 3.4.1 under existing, they're asking about the implementation of a code of ethics for a research. Okay, definitely it is a plagiarism software, which is playing a very important role. So that policy we are having, that you should contribute and give it to your IQC so that he can upload on criteria 3. Okay, not only that, see the majority of the, normally our own, in the state set of the faculty or in the degree colleges, the faculty, sometimes they do not have the complete bibliographical details of their publications, whether it is a journal article, whether it is a book chapter or other thing. And there is a one question which was earlier, it was there under 3.4.4 of how many research papers have been published by your teachers which are available under UGC care list. Okay, so UGC care here, we are expert in that, identifying the UGC care. You should train your faculty also. Okay, so and one best practice that we can do under criteria 3 is there is a MOU, this memorandum of understanding that you have. Normally we don't find MOU which colleges are together, but in a Gulbarga University, what we have made one best practice is Gulbarga University has established a MOU with all the affiliated college libraries, and they are exchanging from the university, we are providing them one username and password under the remote access. So we are linking ourselves and forming the formal memorandum of understanding from the state university to all the affiliated colleges. So it is not that MOU means not one-to-one. It can be from your university with all the colleges. So that is something, the best practice that is we can see yet. Okay, and even under this also, okay, especially if you want to find out the H index or the number of citations that we have, again, it is we the librarians, we have to help the IQC coordinator or the colleges, because we know how to get the H index, how to what is the impact factor. Okay, then what are the citations, how many citations the faculty has got, so what is the H index of the university or a college. So all these things are only known, means we are good, we are expert in that. So as a librarian, we should help and contribute to your college or a university in identifying H index or a citation. So that is the role that we have to play here. And similarly, under criteria 5, it is a student support and the progression. Of course, today, if you just have a look at the statistical data, especially from the Karnataka colleges, so I think around 40% of the librarians, they are playing an important role as a NSS coordinator or a student welfare officer. These are all things that this all shows that the librarians are very dynamic in this entire gamut of teaching faculty. And here we should contribute. Not only that, there is the alumni. We have alumni is required, alumni association required. See, why don't we have alumni of our college is fine. If they are not doing, even the librarians can also form an alumni of a librarians, so they can get registered and they can, in this way also they can contribute under criteria 5. Okay. So the criteria 6 is the governance, leadership and management under this thing. Here, normally, when we just go to under 6.2.2, there are implementation of e-governance. That is one is administrative, second is the finance, third is the students admission and support, and fourth is the examination. Unfortunately, because I have seen in the last cycle also, but now under the recent, when we have gone for a 4th cycle, I said that first under criteria 6, students admission is there and student support is there. So student support means again it is a library that has been doing it. Kindly add the data of the library. Now only very recently we got ONS, One Nation, One Subscription. But for student support, we have a e-Shodhaganga. Okay, Shodhaganga or library management software is again e-governance. Shodha Chakra we are using. We are implementing RFID. We have a e-attendance. We have a remote access. We have a IRINS, Research Information Management System, which is the Kundali of all the faculty of our college or university. These things can be added under criteria 6. Unfortunately, when I see the profile of like SSR of other university under student support and student support of e-governance under criteria 6, library part is missing. So that's why we have included the student support, means what is the library support for a e-governance that we have to include. This is something very important which we have to touch upon. Under the criteria 7, okay, it is again the institutional values and the best practices. And see, maybe a small library in the colleges, it's fine. If you are using a tube light, okay, use some LED bulbs, okay. So that's something, it is because of the best practice we have to do it. Whether the university, whether the college or a principal, the support or not is the immaterial. But small things as a librarian, we can do on our own. There is one question called whether the institution has the solid waste management. Under solid waste management, we think that it is all science department information. No. Under solid waste management, as a librarian, you can say that how we are really contributing for overcoming the solid waste management. Newspapers and magazines for every year we are doing it. We are just, we are calling quotations and we are disposing of. So in the solid waste management under criteria 7, you as a librarian, you should add your point in that. You should add your data in that. Okay. And not only, even the e-waste management is another thing, especially wastage of a tube light, wastage of a toner, of a printer, those things, whatever is available from the library should contribute for this process of a NAAC. Okay. Of course, when it comes to the green initiatives, definitely we the librarians are trying our level best to ensure that we are creating the green campus. Some of the state university, my own university, we have open air green library, and some colleges, when they have a lot of space besides in front of the library or the building, they can have an open air green library. Okay, these sort of small things which we can really contribute for a criteria 7 also. Okay, so normally best practices means there are only 2 best practices will be considered. If possible, why can't our own best practices of our library cannot be included? Why it can't be included in the 2 best practices of the institution as a whole? Okay, that you can think of, So whatsoever, whenever the NAAC peer team visit to your college or a state university, it is only a qualitative metric that they assess. Quantitative metric, by default, you have got all the marks. Okay, so since when you go to our NAAC website, since under binary system, the manual is yet to come. Okay, so I thought the existing under revised accreditation framework, whatever is available, the same thing under the existing 7 criteria, where the librarian can really contribute for the success of a better accreditation of our college or university. I thought it appropriate and try and share my experience with all of you. Okay, of course. See, facing the NAAC peer team is again a challenge, but normally, when the NAAC peer team, of course, now they may not be visiting, but during earlier period, whether they come, they're all, they're like normal, only the retired faculty or some of the assessor, the faculty, existing faculty member. Okay, so whatsoever, you should be, whatever you have, whatever the documentation you have, you should be thorough in that. And don't tell lie, whatever documentation is there, just try to present before them and get a better accreditation. Okay, so it's a high time for librarians, when the systems are changing, when there is a lot of bifurcation of a teacher and a non-teacher, when the importance are not much being given to the librarian in principle. Okay, so under such circumstances, if you say that, सर मैं तो लाइब्रेरियन हूँ, मैं तो क्राइटेरिया 4.2 तो अभी एग्जिस्टिंग था, मैं इतने ही काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम नहीं करूंगा, तो that is not going to have a better visibility. You should know each and every parameter of a NAAC process. Okay, now under binary accreditation, kindly study, we should study each and every bit, and wherever we possible, we should contribute to all the parameters of the NAAC process. Then only we can be, really, we can say that we librarians are really teacher of a teacher. If you are saying no, if you are not extending your tentacles beyond 4 walls of a library, then it is just a waste. So I know that majority of librarians might be telling, yeah, we have to work within the limitations. Whatsoever, don't expect any certificate from anybody. do your job with a positive note, carry out the work, help to the users or institutions the best possible, and kindly contribute. To conclude, let me tell you that, let me just conclude with a small quote कि काम करो ऐसा कि ये एक पहचान बन जाए, हर कदम ऐसा चलो कि निशाना बन जाए, ये जिंदगी तो हर कोई जीत लेगा, जिंदगी जियो इस कदर की हम मिसाल बन जाए. That is the funda for librarians which we have to look upon. So within the limitations of the system, we know that we the librarians, we have when we just also have put more than 25 years of experience. When we go to colleges, एक ही आदमी लाइब्रेरियन रहता है, उनका पास टेबल नहीं रहता, बैठने का नहीं रहता, प्यू नहीं रहता, हम इधर बड़े बड़े बातें वड़ा पाव खाते, हम बात करते रहते हैं, मगर when we see the real situation, so it is something pathetic. But whatsoever, see, as a librarian, जितना भी हमारा पास resources है, within the limitations we should work upon. Okay, so you don't worry. There are under existing review practice framework only 7 criteria are there. अभी 10 आए, 15 आए, 20 आए, जो भी आए आ जाते, वो ऐसे आते रहेगा. उनको भी काम नहीं धंधा नहीं, हमको भी काम नहीं धंधा नहीं. So take it a joke. But मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, whatever the parameters come, don't confine yourself to your own library. So because more than 30 to 40% of the parameters are directly involved in the library. यार library ऐसा चीज है, ऐसा दम है. See, for any teaching, learning, research, extension activity, हम हैं तो दम है, नहीं तो कुछ नहीं है. So normally we say librarian for the teacher of teacher. अरे teacher of teacher बनने के लिए तुमको काम करना पड़ेगा. हर लोग आजकल के जमाने में क्या कर रहे हैं, जो भी यंगर जनरेशन, एटीट्यूड प्रॉब्लम, जो भी आएगा वो लैपटॉप के सामने बैठेगा. कौन यूजर आते हैं, कौन यूजर नहीं आते, हमको इतना केयर नहीं है. We are enjoying the benefit of our salary or whatsoever. Let us say no. Don't be only technology savvy. Technology एक ही कुछ काम नहीं है यार. All the we think that technology रहे तो NAAC better accreditation. Not required. Without technology also we can do wonders. That is how we have to do it. We can do it. And there is one question which I saw Hanif ki regarding IRINS. So there is one question from one of participants. See, this is only this is a research information management that normally we are creating a portal. Of when you just go to any university, or even if you go to my Gulbarga University, gvt.irnf.org, when you just check it, it will tell you the kundali of all the teaching faculty, how many publications they have published, and how many articles they have published, and what is their H index, what are the how many citations they have received. So that is all the research information management which normally the universities have created or in their respective. And that is something very important activity that we the librarian are contributing for getting better accreditation, and especially under the criteria 3. Okay. So there are so many other things are there. Let us do our work. Let us not say no to anyone. No बोलने के नहीं. जो भी प्रिंसिपल काम देगा ना, हाँ सर मैं करता हूँ. ये काम करो, हाँ सर मैं करता हूँ. ये एटीट्यूड है ना, चेंज करो. एटीट्यूड हम नॉर्मली बोलते हैं, अरे मैं किसी से कम नहीं. वो क्या वो टीचर उसको भी इतने आते, मुझे भी इतने आते. यार ये एटीट्यूड गोली मारो यार, कुछ जरूरी नहीं. जो काम है सिंसियर से करो. तुम टीचर बनो, टीचर बनने की जरूरत नहीं. टीचर क्यों नहीं? लाइब्रेरियन खुश है. Librarian, are you not happy with the librarian? Why you wanted it? Always saying that we are no less than teacher. Yeah, you are teacher of teacher. Dr. S.R. Ranganathan साहब already बोला है, already आपको वो बोला है तो हम काम करना पड़ेगा. चुप सब लोग आने का, अंदर जाने का, रूम में बैठने का, लैपटॉप चालू करने का, विदाउट द फ्रंट एंड यूजर के साथ हम मिलते नहीं, बात करते नहीं, फैकल्टी इंटरेक्शन नहीं है, तो ये NAAC कैसा कर सकते हैं? स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट कमिंग, तो फैकल्टी आर नॉट कमिंग. तुम बुलाओ, प्यार से बात करो, चाय पीने के लिए बुलाओ, वो आएंगे, बैठेंगे, साइन ले लो. समथिंग यू टू डू. ओके, ओनली फॉर सो आई एम वेरी वेरी इंटेलिजेंट. अरे इंटेलिजेंट गोली मारो, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. पैसा तो सैलरी मिलता है. अभी वी शुड थिंक ऑफ द यंगर जनरेशन वेयर वी आर नॉट गेटिंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट, स्पेशली I think Professor Ramesha, Keshava and the entire team, they should also work out the strategy, like how the employment opportunities are created for a younger generation. So that's the thing. So with this note, I with wholeheartedly acknowledge with high sense of gratitude to Ramesha, Professor Ramesha, Keshava sir, and Hanifa sir, and my guru, teacher, and particularly Dr. Hemavati, madam. So and all the participants for giving me this opportunity to be part of this show. I regret that the little bit it is a disturbance as far as sharing is concerned. See, since I want to conclude once again that. So since I have been involved in directly logging into the NAAC portal, giving login and password, because many of the times what happens, theory is different, practice is different. See, we say, oh, you upload this document, you upload this document. When you go to your NAAC website, you give your login and password. You go to our SSR, you go to criteria 1. There, the template will be different, and what template you have prepared is different. So this is all, the practical difficulty that we have faced it. And since I am involved in the practical aspects of uploading the data also for the entire university, if any doubt, anything is there, you can just keep in touch with me. I can directly show you how to log in and how to upload. Because uploading it seems very simple. It is not, you should upload as per the template. It is not that you should upload as per your convenience. Okay, even one letter is missing, that will not take. Even when you make a scanning, if it is not proper format, if it is not left, it does not fit into the bytes, or image, the MB, then it will not take. There are so many issues are there. अभी हमको अच्छा लगता है जो लॉगिन करो अपलोड करो यार, वो जब आप ऑनलाइन बैठते हैं ना आपको मालूम पड़ता है, जिसको जब ऑनलाइन में बैठ के काम करते हैं उसको तकलीफ ज्यादा रहते हैं, उसको मालूम होता है. So the practical aspect, if anything is there, directly you can please contact me. So within my limited knowledge, so I can really help you for technical aspect of this NAAC process. Of course, I only talk about RAF, Reverse Accreditation Framework. Mainly, let us see in future, maybe when the binary comes, the questions will be different, templates will be different, support documents will be different. At that time, we can very comprehensively think of only library plus other factors. With this, thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much for your very interesting and informative and also encouraging talk on librarians' role in NAAC accreditation. And to the audience, if you have any questions for Dr. Suresh Jinje, please feel free to ask him, because your questions are valuable and help make this webinar even richer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, Madam Manju Dubey. No?
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself.
Okay, with the permission of Dr. Hanifa, let me have a compliment and a very comprehensive presentation in point of the librarian's view. And regarding one aspect, he is making that in NAAC portal, these librarians are not categorized in teaching community. Already we also represent that. I also request Professor Ramesha and to make a representation, because many state universities, not only in South, even West Bengal and many other universities, the librarians are teaching faculty. Even we also represented the UGC, and they were categorically telling they are non-vocational teaching faculty like that. So that ILA, like bodies also, they need to advocate for this continuously. Even I request Suraj Jake also being a senior librarian, and he can also, wherever possible, he has to make a representation. And we will also definitely work together, and we will keep on representing, because always we were in forefront whenever new these policies, particularly pay commissions are coming. They left some of the privileges of librarians, and we are very much emphasizing. And even we quote international university and Commonwealth of Learning, how they are academies here, because as exactly pointed out, even I also used to tell whenever I go for any NAAC lectures and all, librarians are all around us, and all the parameters, the librarian role is there. But the years detailed, where it may be of research category, it may be of curriculum, it may be of the organization management, it may be of the extension activities, it may of green library practices like environment consciousness and energy consumption. All those things are there. And in detail, we can put it up. Even I also prepared a document. I sent it to Professor Ramesh sir also. And we need to emphasize. And one point also here, young librarians are joining. I also joined Sohit Jange. And it is a library, they need to come forward. And we need to take initiative. Not a principal or the registrar or vice chancellor today. And everything that we need to make our life. And we need to very much proper in documentation. Documentation is the most important aspect. So documentation also we need to make. And we are having the role in all aspects. And many libraries are IPC coordinator. I can put many names, even in Karnataka and in Tamil Nadu also. And librarians, they recognize deans also, even in engineering colleges. My student is in Kumagur College of Technology and he is in Coimbatore Technology. So that possibilities are there. And we have to definitely make it. And even I request Ramesh sir also to keep the library and use library as a library professor as one of the member in the IKS. Definitely. So Professor Kanasat like Professor Pesma and even Professor Hanifa, even myself, we were recognized. We were given other responsibilities too. But the same way IKS also, we have to represent to NAAC also to make this mandatory. In-house librarian or library and professor should be a part of that. So this is and once again, I compliment Dr. Hemavati and Kesava and Ravisa and Hanifa for enabling this very fantastic program that give a lot of inputs and the PPT also may share a lot of information to the working library. Thank you very much.
Anif, Professor Anif, sir. Okay. Any other questions on our specific? Okay, Professor Karsar, you have mentioned in the new binary criteria, like level 1 to 4 is an institution with national importance.
Yeah.
Second one is level 5 is a global excellence.
Global excellence.
With the multidisciplinary. When you look at the Indian university system, we have a state universities, we have a central universities, and technical universities, deemed universities, medical universities, and all that. When you global excellence multidisciplinary approach, how Gulbarga University or Bangalore University can be part of level 5? When compared to like we have a RV University, they have a medical, they have engineering, they have a traditional BA, BSc, BCom, MA, MCom, MSc. There they can fulfill like MAHE also. But how this criteria 5 will going to apply?
Yeah. Since beginning, I'm of the opinion that you can teach MS Dhoni English and make him to speak very good at man of the match sessions. You cannot teach an English professor how to play cricket and make him to win the man of the series or man of the match. They have already bifurcated general universities. General universities, there are quality universities. For example, in Karnataka only, University of Mysore is there, Bangalore is there, Mangalore is there. There are many good universities. But to reach that global level, they need to put many efforts and they have to start some other professional courses. But in northern India, some parts of other parts of India, the other multidisciplinary programs are running well. They can really reach that height in the next 5 or 10 years. Or even if there is a provision for state universities to have some cluster institutions. If those are not part of your system, Bangalore University can take can have some relations with some establish a cluster university with other discipline institutions which are of national importance. They can increase their scope and they can go for it. That provision is given in NEP, but how that UGC will give provisions to establish those relations, will have to see. As you told, that even for private universities, reaching that global level is very difficult. because they have wonderful engineering and medical education. Their basic sciences or humanities programs are very poor. Only because of the brand name, students are getting admitted to that. There are no qualified teachers, there are no qualified sources and all that. Even at the local stage here, ultimately, when this provision is given to make the Indian Institute of Science, IITs, IIMs, and the top 100 universities, which are now in the NIRF ranking, to make them or to encourage other institutions to be recognized as global institutions of multiple discipline. So this kind of an approach is made. Of course, it takes time for all the universities. Particularly, you have taken Gulbarga University. I mean, I'm really sorry. I mean, I served that institution for more than 13 years. Now, one department when I was serving had 23 professors. Department of Chemistry had 23 professors. Now the total strength of the Gulbarga University has come down. Thanks to our policy, if appointments are not made, recruitments are not made, we are going to lose. It gained weightage only because of those teachers who have worked during that period, who have contributed during that period. That's the reason they could get it. So instead of going up in the ladder, there is every danger that every institutions will come down. And I tell you, if benchmarks are announced immediately along with the manual, every institution will try to reach. That happened with Hemavati's Tumkur, Harinarayan's Mysore and all that. They were not knowing benchmark. Otherwise, they also would have come A++. Isn't it? They were not knowing the exact number which will fetch them 4 weightage points, which will fetch them 3 weightage points. They were not knowing, they could not get it. The moment I came to know, I somehow try to, but this will not happen in the state universities. This will happen in the non-state government institutions. That's where we lost the entire path of ours. And I'm sure this grade 5 will certainly help us, because some of our institutions are in Times universities ranking. Many of our institutions are placed very much right down. So I'm sure 100% this will help us to go ahead.
Thank you. Over to Professor Anifa for sum up.
Okay, sir, please. So it's a very interesting discussion, but because of the time, any other question? No.
No, sir, proceed.
If there are questions, pgtharsad@gmail.com, Suresh Jange
Yes.
@gmail.com.
Yes,
sir.
Very simple.
yes. So before we conclude, let me briefly summarize today's session. The talk of by Professor Tharsad on getting ready for NAAC accreditation and re-accreditation provided valuable insights into the key steps and strategies for institutions must undertake to prepare for NAAC assessment. The highlight importance of aligning the practices with the specific of proposed reforms, maintaining static documentation, and different of parameters for outcomes, and the emphasize the role of internal assurance mechanisms and other institutions readiness. And talk by Dr. Demystified on beyond experience, expanding a lot of library professionals and library board objectives and as explained of the criteria and the rules and the impact of library. And we emphasize the librarians can various criteria and various accreditation process in promoting research and facilitating the knowledge resources and was contributing to the quality of institutional work. And so, valuable insight in getting ready for accreditation or accreditation process. So, how we library professionals can go beyond the library, and we are already talked to for example, in research development and information data. So, like for higher
I think due to the network error,
Yes,
left meeting.
so network issues.
So further, I take this opportunity to actually good afternoon to everyone. It's my privilege and honor to extend the vote of thanks on behalf of the Indian Association of Teachers of Library and Information Science and the Department of Library and Information Science, Tumkur University, for the successful conduct of today's national webinar on NAAC accreditation, demystified, preparation, process, and progress. First and foremost, I express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Professor P.G. Tatsek and Dr. Suresh Jange sir, for their enlightening presentations. Your insights into the norms of the NAAC accreditations have been immensely valuable and will surely guide the institutions in their quality journey. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Muhammad Anifa K. for expertly moderating the session and ensuring the smooth flow of ideas and interaction. My heartfelt appreciation to our President, Professor Ramesha, and our General Secretary, Professor Keshava, for their inspiring leadership and continuous encouragement in organizing such impactful academic events. My special thanks to I also thank all the members of the Governing Council and the Executive Council of IATLIS for their active support and guidance. And finally, I extend a warmest thanks to all the participants from across the country who joined us today. Your presence and engagement made this event truly meaningful. Let us continue to collaborate and grow together as a community committed to quality and excellence in library. Thank you all and all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I lost my connection during the last.
Yes, sir.
I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Dadasad, Dr. Suresh Jange,
Thanks to all.
and we encourage you to stay connected to
Dr. Hilmawati, thank you very
future
much.
events.